Morning. It's Sunday morning, December 19th. Oh, that's too bright. Bad lighting in this room. Well, it's around noontime. Just got back from Mass, went to 11, a late Mass. And, wouldn't you know, one of the young girls who was serving passed out. What a bunch of excitement. We're hoping she's okay. The EMTs came, took her. They just think she passed out. She might not have eaten breakfast. Who knows? We're hoping to hear. Dennis is connected to the church, so he always hears about what will happen, so we'll find out if she's okay or not. I'm just making a little lunch right now. Yep, time for lunch. I think we'll start with this. A few peppers, some mushrooms, and an onion. I just got this pan ready. I just put a little bit of... I buttered it like I was going to make a cake. I don't like to put a lot of oil in there because then the vegetables act like little sponges. It gets too oily. You want a nice roasted vegetable, just the vegetable. And if it's lunchtime, it's salad. Here's a little spring mix. And of course, a little... What do we call this lettuce? Come on. What do we call it? This is how I coax my husband into eating salad. By putting... Hey Dennis! What do you call lettuce? What do you call this? What do you call that?
Do I call it?
Yeah, what kind of lettuce is it? I can't think of it.
Iceberg?
Yeah, iceberg. Thank you. Iceberg. I kept thinking romaine. Okay, a little iceberg, a little spring mix. And maybe he'll eat some. Yeah, it's an iceberg. Very good. Felt like a TikTok, like I was in a TikTok video asking my spouse, what do you call this? And then he was just waiting for some wise guy answer, but I just, as Dennis says, old-timers disease. I can't remember the names of things. What was it now? Iceberg. Iceberg. Yeah, I don't want them too soft. I want them a little crunchy because they'll taste good on the salad. Hot vegetables on a salad, you say? Well, yes. The reason I say yes is because... Do you ever see, I don't know if he's on anymore, he used to be on with Mario Hilario all the time. His name is Chef Terranova. He taught, or he teaches at Johnson & Wales Culinary. And he actually used to do some Saturday morning classes for people who don't know anything about cooking, of which I attended one. He talked about sauteing vegetables and putting them in a cold salad. It's like the hot and cold contrast is pretty good. I do it all the time now. So I'm going to have iceberg lettuce with spring mix. Got to chop up I'm going to cut this avocado in half. Put the rest of it in a bag with lemon juice. Don't know if it'll keep it from turning black. And then I'll enjoy half of it. My husband doesn't eat avocado. So here are the rest of my add-ins. I know Weight Watchers suggests a quarter of an avocado, but you never get 3/4 to stay fresh, so I eat them half and half, and I try to buy small ones. I've got some blueberries, avocado for my salad, and I have a biscuit. And today we have Greek vinaigrette from Aldi's. My husband's not even here. He took off. One of his friends came in. His car either broke down or ran out of gas, and he didn't have his phone, so he had to walk here from Price Right. Sad story, but Dennis is off helping him, so he's on his own for lunch. There's leftover. I referred to him the other day, some of these leftovers that I make, and so he has that, and there's green beans cooked already, and there's a potato. Oh, I don't know if there's a potato. He'll have to substitute salad. Okay, so that's lunch for Sunday. Time to eat. Can you tell my favorite food is the blueberries? I'm back. I'm watching some Vlogmases. Catching up on Vlogmases today. because I'm a little behind, but as you can see, I'm up to day 6 on Gemma Darlings. Danny's up to day 6, but she started after 8 days of Hanukkah, so not too far off with her. And I am sitting in various stages of completion of these bowl cozies. As my dog wants to go outside. That's what it is. I mean, I'll sit down and try to start sewing. That's what I did after lunch. I sat down. But before my husband could eat lunch, he got a phone call from his friend Billy. And Billy got stuck at Price Right. No, he didn't get a phone call. Billy showed up. That's when we got kind of busy around here. I had to stop sewing because Billy came. He walked from Price Right, that's a good long walk. It's probably a 10-minute ride. It's at the second plaza up at Walnut Hill. So anyway, Billy's car got stuck at Price Right, and he didn't take his phone with him because he figured, I'm only going to the market. Why should I take my phone? And that's when I said to Billy, I said, Billy, that's why you should, because you have your phone for emergencies and you never know when you're going to have an emergency. Yeah, I know. So, and he was quite upset because he has a friend that's about halfway between Price Right and our house, but the guy didn't answer his door. I said, well, maybe he wasn't home. He's mad at his friend for not answering the door. He said his dog was barking, the TV was blasting, and he never came to the door. I said, Bill, if that was like Dennis wouldn't come to the door because first of all, he wouldn't hear you knocking, and second of all, they ignore the dogs when they bark because they're sick of them barking all the time. So he made it here and told Dennis what was wrong with his car, and he thinks he needed it to be towed. So Dennis said, heck with that, come on, we'll go. I've got AAA. I'll just say I was in the car with you and we'll get it towed. Oh no, so Billy doesn't like to do things like that because he says, you pay for your AAA. You want it to be there for you when you need it. But Dennis says it's unlimited tows, I think. We never use it, but we have it. So he says, no, I know somebody that can tow me. I just need you to bring me back there. So Dennis brings him back there and says, you want to look and see what kind of a pot you need? And I'll drive you to the auto parts store. And Billy said no. So Dennis brought gas in one of the gas containers and they got the car started. In the meantime, I'm like I ate my lunch, but I'm like not cleaning up because I don't know if Dennis is coming back and going to eat or maybe Billy's going to come back and eat. So I just wait, and I kind of like picked up a little bit and was preparing the dogs' lunches. And Dennis comes back and says, it started up and he was able to drive it home. So he didn't know if perhaps his gas gauge broke and he didn't know that he was out of gas. But as it turned out, he needed a new starter because Billy called back in about 5 minutes and said he needs a new starter. And so he needed Dennis to bring him to the he needed Dennis to look something up for him at the auto parts store. He could walk to the auto parts store, but as it turned out, this story is getting too long. Well, there were a series of in and outs with the car and the repairs and da. So, and in the meantime, one of my friends called me, and she had a gift for Hunter for Christmas, and she's coming over here on Christmas, but she wanted to bring it over before Christmas in case I saw him. I said, yeah, well, Hunter's not coming on Christmas. Hunter's coming on No, I'm going to Hunter maybe on Christmas Eve. I'm waiting for his mom to tell me what we're doing. So she had wanted to come over the other day, but I wasn't home. And now that I was home, she wanted to come over today. So she came over, had a coffee, and she stayed about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Then she left. And then Dennis was done, and I was done, so I could fit, Joyce was gone. So did all the dishes, and now I can start sewing again. Now, I did a bunch of this like before I went to Mass this morning. I got a lot of stuff done. There's a lot more batting over there. I sorted out all the colors and everything, and these are also stitched. These are stitched, and I have to turn them right side out and do top stitching. So this is the color thread on right now, so I'm trying to sort out the light colors and do that. It's not a lot of work. It's just I need to concentrate and sit and do it. But two things happened on my new Bernina, like something happened with the bobbin, so I had to take it apart and clean it and put everything back together. The only reason something went bad with the bobbin is because I was it was user error. Let's put it that way, because I'm getting too long in the tooth with all these stories. So I had a lot of issues with the Bernina. It's a wonderful machine, and it's because it's new to me. I joined a Facebook group called the Bernina 790 Plus group. There it is. And people have all these questions, and they've been things that I've experienced, so I know that everyone has a learning curve to start. So right now, it's 4 o'clock. I don't know if you see my clock. It's Sunday, it's 4 o'clock, and at 4:30, we have the Espresso Knitters Knit group on Zoom. So that's what I really should be getting ready for, which I kind of did. Oh no, now another dog wants to go out. This is what I mean. This is why I have my sewing room upstairs. Well, it's not really my... Oh, the other one didn't come in. Come on, Zuzu. Come on in. No, you want to stay out with Molly? Okay. I was just downstairs in my sewing room and said, I've really got to consider making this the main sewing room downstairs and bringing all these machines down. Because look at my kitchen. This isn't right. I shouldn't have all this, because I got to take all this out of here before next week when it's Christmas. I mean, it's convenient for me to have it here because I can have stuff on the stove and be cooking and still sewing. So I take up a lot of real estate in this house. I take up the other side of the kitchen. I take up all of this craft room, which still has, only a small part of this is my yarn, but see, there's bowls everywhere, because these are the bowls I want to put in the bowl cozies. I've got a number of clear ones. I think I showed you these before. There's a box full of bowls. All this stuff is going to be coming out of here. I'm getting ready, because see, I brought my knitting over to the computer for the Zoom session. Yeah, I got most of my notions. Look at this. I got a new bowl. I got a yarn bowl from my friend Robin. And it works great, because look at, I've got all these balls in it, and nothing gets tangled, everything stays nice. Working on the final piece of the shawlography, and this says, what does it say? Damn Good Yarn. So that's a yarn company, I suppose. I'm going to have to look that up. So I'm pretty sure if you're one of my regular viewers, you've seen my downstairs before. Oh, gotta let the dog in. But I think once we get the mudroom all finished up, Zuzu, come on in. Come on, hurry up. It's getting cold out, but at least we're not getting the, what do they call it? Winter mix. They thought we might get a winter mix today, but we're not. Whew. Well, anyway, once we get the mudroom cleared out or finished off, because it's like at that point where he has to do the ceiling, he has to take off these black boards, not black boards, but dark color wood boards, and mud the walls, which for him, that's easy. He does that all the time. This stuff though, we got to get rid of this stuff. See, this is the time to write on the walls. This is when he writes the measurements. But he had to build a deck this summer for his best friend. And that deck went around the house, I think, at least 2 sides, maybe 3. And I have to figure out something to do for these cement stairs. Because as I'm a senior citizen now, it's not good to be going up and down the stairs. If there's cement and you fall down, you're in trouble. I'm going to have them carpeted, I think. Alright, here's my downstairs room. And all the things that must get tended to down here. Those are quilts that need quilting. There's only one there with its back, with its corresponding back. I got another one upstairs. Here are some of my bags. I have lots of bags. Some fabric. This was all straightened out like a month ago, 2 months ago. And there aren't a lot of machines down here. I have this brother machine down here. It's the Innovis VQ2400. It does not embroider, but it's considered a quilting sewing machine. It's got a long neck, a long throat here. Wonder how long that is. I want to sell it because I just bought the brother. I have the embroidery that's just like this, only it has an embroidery unit that is attachable. Let's see how long this skirt is. Good to know, because if you do free motion quilting, it is 11. See, I thought it was about 11 inches. I mean, yeah, it's 11 inches, give or take. And these have, I wonder if it's plugged in. A lot of times this is not plugged in because of the thunderstorms. But it is. Okay. Has great lighting. They call it, I swear, I think they call it stadium lighting. And it's got an automatic needle threader. If you need to thread the needle, you just thread the machine, and then you bring this thread up through here, and then there's a button here that says thread. So watch closely. And your needle is threaded, I think. What do you know? Because I'm demonstrating it. It's not working this time. Let's try it again. I was going to say it never fails. Yeah, it's threaded. See that? Oh. It's got an automatic needle, pass a foot lifter. See, it's threaded. You can see the amount of thread in the bobbin, so that's always handy for sewing, although this screen here will tell you if you have bobbins getting empty. It's got an automatic cutting. It's got thread up and down, automatic, like you can thread up and thread down, and you can program it to either start with it up or start with it down, whatever you prefer. And if you're using, it's got the knee lift, but it also, if you don't have your press-a-foot plugged in, I mean your foot pedal plugged in, this will serve, like if you put the press-a-foot down, it'll go green, and if you press that button, it'll just sew. So you can do it that way. I wouldn't recommend that. I never do that. It's a great machine. They're still, I don't think they're still selling them. I got this one maybe about 5 years ago or so, and I got it for a good price at the time. At the time, I think it sold for $4,900, but I'm willing to sell it a lot cheaper than that. Okay. No other. So it's kind of dark right now because I didn't turn the lights on. This is like my night light down here. But I want to get back down here. Here's my old Singer 301. I love this machine. This machine is quite useful. Sometimes if I can't sew things that are difficult or very thick, this the 301 handles it very well. This machine was found here in Dennis's house when he moved in. And this was my cabinet. This is just an old Singer cabinet that I had refinished. And I just had an old, I don't know what I had in there, Japanese machine. I got rid of that. It probably broke. So I have I have a quilt that's finished on the wall here. Another quilt. Let's turn on some light. This was the Adidas Sitar's mystery quilt for 2021. I did the 2021, the 2020 quilt, mystery quilt, and I gave that one to my sister-in-law, and now I have this one to finish. I have those middles. I showed it on one of my Vlogmases. That middle area in there is upstairs. I put those together. Some of these quilt blocks are falling off the wall. All this is a piece of flannel. I took 2 insulation boards that were 4 by 8, I think, and I taped them together, and then I put flannel on it, and I drew some lines so I could keep my blocks straight. And Dennis screwed them into the wall in 6 places, I guess. So it's very tall, and you can see, if you just put a block there, it will stick. However, when they're up for a long time, and if I haven't put them on really well, because sometimes I'm just slapping them into place to see where they should go, they will fall off. And then I just stick them on the sides like this. And when I put the quilt back together, I'll fix that. Embroidery threads. My embroidery machine is upstairs now, so I have to run downstairs for embroidery thread. And that's all. Oh, look at how empty it is. Half of it's upstairs. That's the laundry room. So if I'm down here, it's convenient to get the laundry done. But I have this quilt going. This is a real cool quilt. That's probably the next one I'm going to pick up. I have this quilt that I haven't started. But I have also the cross stitch to this, so I'm going to make that matching one. I know this is sounding familiar to me, so I think I've shown it to you before. So this is my double table. It's just 2 tables pushed together with measuring things on it, but it works if I have to square a quilt for quilt after I long arm it. This is the long arm. I just put a piece of cheesecloth on top of it to keep the dust off. It's not too dusty down here. It's pretty good. There we go. And this is my mad scramble through fabrics to figure out which fabrics I was going to use for the bowl cozies, because you'll see there's fabric everywhere. And I don't have that much fabric. Not compared to my counterpart quilters, my quilters that I know. Oh, what are those? These I'm considering, these are Cave Facet designs, which are very vibrant, very colorful. Those are what I've used so far. This says Free Spirit, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of Cave Facet because the color is his signature colors. Like he designs all this stuff. Look at this stuff. This was a previous quilt. Oh, I have some strips too. I could make quilts till the cows come home, honestly. And then down here I have to find a place for these. These are various. Oh, I wanted to, see, now I wanted to make this last Christmas. It's a snowflake quilt. It's a free quilt on the Fat Quarter Shop or Moda. What's it say? I don't know. Fat Quarter Shop, okay. So, it was a mystery quilt, and in the end, I got all the fabric for it. And in the end, it's a snowflake. Here it is. Kind of looks like this. That's kind of before you stitch it together. It looks much nicer when it's finished. And I got the fabric for that. As a matter of fact, I think that's what's in that box, because this was right there with it. I put projects together. Alright. Sort of like a fall table runner. A red Christmas table runner. That's the first table runner, that I ever quilted piece by piece when I was getting into quilting. This is a Fons and Porter design. You did it with strips. I really like it, and it does well for Christmas. I'll probably bring that upstairs if I remember today. And then I have a summer one. This one was when I was learning to do different kinds of tricks with embroidery, because that looks like it's green ink. I don't know what's on there. I have to wash this one. Yeah, that's seashells, so that's a summer one. It's for the beach house, which I don't have. Okay. There's a bunch of fat quarters in a fat quarter box carrier from Missouri Star Quilt. And there's more fabric everywhere. There's fabrics for bags. Well, this is a quilt called Waddington Road. Oh, this is a very, very nice, this is an applique quilt. This is the Waddington Road stuff. It's really, really, the colors remind me of like Civil War colors. These are all applique. This is Lori Holt's applique. Let's see if I can show you these. This one has 12 giant squares, 12 giant blocks like this, and I think I have at least 6 of them done, so why did I stop? This one's the American flag and the beehive. And this one's a nice basket with a bird and some flowers. All this applique work is done. It's all attached. Here's an angel with some cherries over a flower basket. Some stars. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, here's a farmer with his bird and a birdhouse and flowers. I like this quilt. This one's called Prim, I think. No, I have more than 4 of them done. They must be on here. Oh yeah, they're under here. There's a church. Well, I don't drag them all out. And then this is a quilt that I'm making. It's a Hoop Sisters quilt. All of these are quilts that have so many. Look at all these blocks I have made. I have tons of blocks here. I put them on this drying rack. I found this drying rack somewhere, probably at Salvation Army or something, and it was kind of all worn out wood, so I tightened it up a little. Could be tightened up a little more. And I painted it. I spray painted it this summer. So I have all these blocks, and this big center block is done. I think that's this. Yeah, it's got a big star in the center. I got to get on these things. Well, maybe it'll be a long, dreary winter, and I'll be down here with all my machines all set up down here, and stay out of the kitchen and let all the traffic come through, and I'll just hide out downstairs until they call me. This was a little Christmas. This is a Christmas thing I did last Christmas that I was supposed to frame for this Christmas, and I just picked up all the pieces, the wood. I have everything to do that one. And I have that quilt as well as the cross stitch. This is the quilt I just showed you, the cross stitch version of it. And I never did this in time. I could have given this to my husband for his birthday this year, because Halloween's on his birthday. But I bought all the wooden pieces that I want to I want to frame those on, mount them. Well, time is getting later, and I am just rambling down here. So what I was trying to explain is sometimes you're busy and you don't realize it, but when it's the holidays and you're trying to do stuff and trying to finish stuff, that's when you realize, wow, there's a lot of people come through here every day. Plus, it's a Sunday, so went to church this morning, and Dennis always goes to early mass, but today he was going to the late mass, and I went with him to the late mass, and then you don't get home till after 12, because when he's at the church, he checks on everything, and he has to see if anybody left food for the food pantry, and we put the food pantry stuff away, and then he emptied a thing of trash in the catechism. I don't think they call it catechism anymore. Catechism room. And then somebody had thrown a coffee in it, and it leaked all over the floor, so I had to get a mop. Anyway, it's nearly time to go and knit with the espresso knitters. So I'm going to sign off now and say goodbye for today, because I've ran along. I couldn't possibly put anything else on this day. But just beware. Get your holiday stuff done early. This was another table runner that I made a long time ago when I just learned to quilt. I only started with little things. Yeah. Get your holiday stuff done early, because that's the time of year when everyone comes over. And it's so nice to have people come over. I'm not complaining about it. It's just throws me off. I have piles everywhere. Oh well, see you tomorrow. Bye now.